What is going on, Crimson City? My name is Crimson CBAD, and I'm bringing you guys our Week 1 team builder for the APA, the American Pokemon Association. Your Detroit Steel Wings are going up against Coach Mewtwo fan Nate and the New York Noibats. So if you guys are excited, feel free to show some love in that like button down below. And don't forget, if you're new, feel free to subscribe. We have a ton of competitive Pokemon content here going on, not only with the APA participation, but also the GBA participation as well. Feel free to check out any links in the description for stuff like that. And go show some love to my man Mewtwo fan Nate. The link to his channel will be in the description as well. He's a good friend of mine. I'm looking forward to this battle. We've had the pleasure of battling in the past in the P4G, and I'm looking forward to this matchup as well. I need my revenge. So you guys see his team on screen. He has the Mega Altaria, base 80 speed, one of, I feel like, the lesser Megas impacted by Ultra Sun and Moon. The Pixelate nerf coming through, decreasing Pixelate's original damage of 30% output in Oris to now 20% in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon now, which we are playing in. And it didn't get a speed boost as well. Obviously, Mega Altaria and Altaria share the same base speed of 80. So it really got nerfed in Gen 7. So I'm going to see how he uses it. I'm surprised to see it, you know, while still an offensive Pokemon. I feel like with the Pixelate nerf, people tend to stick away a little bit from those. But looking forward to it. It's got base 110 attack and special attack. Good defenses with 110 defense and 105 special defense. Sitting about 145 with a max speed. I don't know if I really see a Dragon Dance set coming. I would anticipate probably like special Altaria coming with Hyper Voice to bypass any sort of substitutes that I may want to set up. Being able to hit things like, you know, Excadrill super effectively with Ice Beam. Obviously, you can go for things like Earthquake, but stuff like that, you know, ice spam is pretty good. Bolt Beam coverage is also really good, so I would imagine him wanting to cover some of that with Mega Altaria. Next up, he does have Infernape, which is one of his Z Crystal users. We're familiar with Infernape from the 5th season of the GBA. Infernape is really cool. 104 attack, 104 special attack, 108 speed, giving it a good speed tier. It's got 2 abilities in Blaze and Iron Fist. Blaze obviously boosting fire type moves after, I believe, 25% or less health. And then Iron Fist boosts the punching moves, such as the priority it gets in Mach Punch, Thunder Punch, things like that. So got to be careful with that. It is a Stealth Rocker on his team. Mega Altaria, I forgot to mention, also can run Defog. Suicune we're very familiar with. Suicune's a great water type in League format. Incredibly bulky Pokemon with 115 in both defenses. It has the pressure ability for access to stall, and it does take a lot to really put a dent in the Pokemon. If it starts setting up something like a Calm Mind set is pretty common. He could run Standard Crocoon. He could run Calm Mind Resto Chesto with like 2 attacks. But I don't see why he wouldn't want to bring, honestly, just a Standard Crocoon set this week. It's really good against me, provided if my Electric type does go down, it makes it really hard to deal with. Heliolisk is his other Z user. Heliolisk is the Weather Lizard. It could do really good. I could see him bringing it this week if he expects the sand, with the sand availability increasing its evasion. It has 109 in special attack, 109 in speed. Another really good speed tier Pokemon that goes up well against my team. And I think like maybe a Scarf set or even like a Life Orb offensive set could come this week with the Sand Veil. It has access to moves like Surf, Hyper Voice. Stab Hyper Voice is really interesting. Grass Knot, Volt Switch obviously, and U-Turn he could run. Things like that, so I'd be curious to see if he does bring it. Uxie is a Pokemon that I actually kind of have a little bit of a problem with, outside of Mega Tyranitar, which you guys can already see that I'm not bringing. Uxie, very, very bulky Pokemon, 130 in both defenses, 95 good speed, Levitate for the ground immunity. With Choice Scarf, Excadrill, we don't need to worry about that, though. It can set up rocks, it can set up screens, it can U-turn around, it can obviously go for stab psychic moves. It's an incredibly bulky Pokemon that you do have to plan for, I feel like. And we'll kind of talk about how we're going to handle that in a bit. Gligar is another Pokemon I do see coming. Ground and Flying, Eviolite access. Does have the 4x weakness to Ice, which is kind of cool because we do have Cloyster on the team. So, but it does have Defog. It can run. I see either Sandveil or Immunity coming this week. I honestly think he'll bring Sandveil if he does bring it, just to again take advantage of the possibility of Mega Tyranitar's Sand. But the immunity does prevent it from being poisoned. However, we do have Mold Breaker on Excadrill, which will go through that immunity ability. Can set up rocks and set up Swords Dances, knockoffs, Earthquakes, things like that. Serperior is a scary Pokemon. Serperior is a very scary Pokemon. The right set can absolutely run through any team, I feel like, including my own. 113 speed, the contrary ability giving Leaf Storm a +2 boost every time he goes for it. Dragon Pulse, hidden powers. He has access to Glare. It can be a Coil Sweeper. It can do Subseed. It is a scary Pokemon. The right, like I said, the right set can run through a lot of teams. Garbodor, I don't really see Garbodor coming. Defenses aren't super crazy. 82s across the board. Can set up spikes, can set up T-spikes. Aftermath Abuser. I don't see it coming considering I have an Excadrill and a Latios. I don't see it coming, frankly, but it does have, and like my Fairy isn't that offensive, so I don't see the Garbodor coming. Honchkrow, I don't see coming either. Honchkrow, 125 base attack, 71 in speed, nothing too crazy. Does have the Moxie ability, so after some boost, it can start sweeping. Brave Bird, Night Slash, Heat Wave, things like that. Sucker Punch for priority. Scary Mon, but it doesn't really... Superpower, I think, but I don't think, like, a superpower is doing a super amount. A superpower is not doing a super amount, to something like Mega Tyranitar, but if he does want to bring, like, Pursuit to Pursuit Trablatios and things like that, that is something scary. Obviously, if I did fear it coming, you know, Bolt Beam would be necessary on the Latios. Ambipom, I kind of see coming. Ambipom, I see coming. 115 speed, 100 attack. Technician and Skill Link are two really awesome abilities to have on that thing. Technician, obviously, boosting the base 60 power or below moves, and then Skill Link increasing the max amount of multi-hit moves to a 5 count. So things like Tail Slap automatically are a 5-hit move with that, similar to same ability as Cloyster with the Icicle Spear. So, it can be even like a secret tech, you know, secret tech with hidden powers and Water Pulse boosting those, even with a special attack of 60. It could be something to be careful of. Fake Out Last Resort set is something that he could also try bringing. Knockoff user. Really good offensive Pokemon. Toss a Life Orb on there, and it doesn't poke super big holes, but it'll work around your team. It's something you got to be careful for. And then the Escavalier, of course. Escavalier is a incredibly bulky Pokemon, not too fast, but hits very hard. A Mega Horn from Escavalier is crazy. 135 attack, 105 in both defenses. Something to keep in mind. Its only weakness is 4 times weakness to fire. So that is something that we do got to kind of keep in mind of. We do obviously have coverage for it. I talked a little bit about this. I don't know how much I brought it up. Stealth Rockers, Infernape, Uxie, and Gligar are his 3 rockers. He does have a Spiker in the form of Garbodor and a Toxic Spiker in the form of Garbodor. He has no Rapid Spinners on his team. As far as his Defoggers go, he has Altaria, Gligar, Superior, who just recently got it in Gen 7, and Honchkrow. He has a Heal Bell user and Mega Altaria and Uxie. So, going over that team, let's talk a little bit about our team right now. I feel like I've talked enough about his team. First up here, we have Excadrill. We've got Choice Scarf Serrated. Serrated is coming, rocking the Choice Scarf Mold Breaker ability, like I said, to be able to go through Uxie's Levitate and Gligar's immunity, should he bring it. Toxic, Earthquake, Iron Head, and Rapid Spin. I talked a little bit about it in the draft analysis, which if you didn't catch, feel free to check that out in the description of this video. Talked a little bit about it, where you typically see Excadrill with, like, there's 7 attacks that are good on Excadrill. You'll see 4 of those attacks on there. You know, maybe every now and then it's some secret tech move, but you'll typically see those. Earthquake and Iron Head and Rapid Spin are like these are 4 very common moves on Excadrill. We are set to outspeed Mega Altaria at +1, so if he does Dragon Dance in front of us, bringing that physical variance, we do outspeed and we can hit Iron Head and hit this thing pretty hard. Earthquake is a really good spammable move once we get things like Suicune and Uxie out of the way, or Gligar out of the way as well. This thing does about like 30%, I believe, to Uxie. Once we get the Gligar out of the way, but if the Gligar feels like coming in, we can click Toxic. This is one of the ways of dealing with the Uxie, is by Toxicing it. If he has the Heal Bell, I guarantee he doesn't have a way of helping other things like setup. Like if he had like an SD Ape or like a Dragon Dance Altaria, if he brings Heal Bell on the Uxie, that'll be a kind of a dead sign that I don't think he'd bring like Heal Bell, screen, 4th move on Uxie. So Toxic thing will be there to wear that down. Also wearing down things like the Suicune if he's not a rest set. Wearing down things like the Mega Altaria as well, putting that on a timer. If he doesn't have a Heal Bell, that'll be really nice. Like I said, Earthquake does a number to his team once the Gligar is gone. And the Honchkrow, like I said, but I don't think he'll bring Honchkrow. Iron Head hurts the Mega Altaria. Iron Head always has the 30% chance to flinch from that 30% chance to flinch. 30% chance to flinch as well, and then Rapid Spin is there for keeping hazards off the field in case he does get rocks up. Obviously, they do hurt the Golbat, the Cloyster, and the Arcanine, so I wanted Rapid Spin on there as well. Next up here, we do have Tree Branch, the Golbat, coming in week 1, Eviolite with the Infiltrator ability. Haze, Roost, Super Fang, and Brave Bird. 248 HP, 12 in attack, 116 in defense, 132 in speed with a Jolly Nature. Jolly Nature makes it so we outspeed uninvested Uxie and Gligar, which is really nice. Haze prevents setup sweepers. Mega Altaria can't do too much to this unless it's special with Ice Beam. Doesn't really do much to this. This does take 2 Stone Edges from Infernape. Thunder Punch into Stone Edge, one of those combinations. I'll have to double check my notes before the battle. Does take a spread from Infernape. This thing 1v1 Suicune every day of the week. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's faster than Suicune. It can roost off before Ice Beam hits, and it's really cool because you can Super Fang, you can haze it so the Calm Minds don't work, which is really nice. Brave Bird is cool in case he's like a Subseed Superior set. Superior obviously can boost all over us. If he's like Leaf Storm, HP Rock, I'm really worried about Superior, but if he's like a substitute with Infernape or anything like that, we do have Infiltrator. Brave Bird obviously does a number to the Superior after 1 sub, this Oko's Superior, which is really nice to know. Neutral damage to things like Escavalier as well. Super Fang being there to help out with bulkier mons like Suicune, like Uxie as well, which is really, really nice. So I like this Pokemon. It does kind of sit in front of Mega Altaria, which is cool at 1v1 Suicune, which I love so much just because Suicune is a little bit of a troublesome Pokemon. Kind of sits in front of Superior, so I can hopefully knock it out. I'm not going to bother hazing a Superior if this gets in on it. I'm just clicking Brave Bird. I'm just clicking Brave Bird because that Pokemon is a threat. I do not want to deal with it. Next up here, we do have what I believe to be one of our win conditions. We have Wintergreen the Latios. He is rocking leftovers, Subcall Mine, Psyshock, and Dragon Pulse. 44 in HP, 212 in special attack, and 252 in speed with a timid nature. What this does, this is originally a little bit of a Life Orb set, which is why we've got this spread, but Subcall Mine works a lot better. We outspeed Timid Heliolisk with this Pokemon right now. That is the fastest Pokemon we can naturally outspeed. And yeah, Subcall Mine does really well. Subcall Mine, we can Subcall Mine in front of the Suicune. Depending on the Infernape set, we can Subcall Mine set up on that. And after a Call Mine or two, this rips through his team absolutely 100% of the time. I'd love a Scavalier to be weakened in case he's an AV set. I would love something like the Ambipom not being around, being able to outspeed and clicking knockoff would be very detrimental to my plans. But Subcall Mine does really, really well. Psyshock over Psychic for Pokemon like Suicune if he starts setting up with Call Mines. We're able to hit that thing a lot harder than he can hit us. Like I said, I feel like a Subcall Mine Latios is the only reason I see like Scald Ice Beam coming on Suicune. Other than that, he could probably get away with just a regular Crocoon set. So I do see like Resto Chesto on Suicune coming. I don't see your standard Crocoon Rest Sleep Talk Call Mine Scald. I think because of Call Mine Lati, he needs to bring Ice Beam in order to pressure me. If he doesn't, then this is just set up food for days. AV Livewire here. This is another answer to Suicune, kind of just to knock it out in case something bad happens to Latios, knock on wood. We've got AV Livewire here. He has the Motor Drive ability with Wild Charge, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Fire Punch. 20 in HP, 252 max attack, 12 in defense, 60 in special defense, 164 speed with an Adamant nature. We are outspeeding Honchkrow by 1 point with this. Wild Charge is a 2-hit KO on Suicune. Even after recoil damage, the special defense, HP, and the Assault Vest together means Scald is a 3-hit KO before being boosted, and I believe it still has a chance to 3-hit KO after +1 Call Mine. So we are able to get 2 Wild Charges off onto this thing and pretty much knock it out. Earthquake is there. Earthquake hits the Infernape. Earthquake hits the Heliolisk. Earthquake hits... yeah, that's it. Wild Charge obviously also hits the Honchkrow like we talked about. Ice Punch is there for Mega Altaria. Ice Punch hits the Gligar for 4 times super effective damage. Fire Punch is there for the Escavalier. Ambipom doesn't really want to take any of that. Like, Garbodor, like Earthquake is there for Garbodor too. Ice Punch and Fire Punch both hit Superior, but this thing can take 1 Leaf Storm from Superior, unboosted, and hopefully knock it out with an Ice Punch. We'll see how that goes. So, good Electric Immunity too. He doesn't have, like Heliolisk. Heliolisk is his electric Pokemon. Like, we switch in on Heliolisk every day of the week. Thunder, all the electric moves, the Hyper Voices aren't doing anything. Surf, all that fun stuff in case he overpredicts and goes for something else. This sits in front of Heliolisk quite well, I feel like, and clicks Earthquake. Next up here, we have the Superior Trapper Bunker herself. She has the Rindoberry, the Skill Link ability. Spikes T-Psych, Icicle Spirit, and HP Fire. Max HP, 32 in attack. 12 in special defense, and 212 with an impish nature, boosting our defense so we can take 1 hit from the Escavalier and fire back with an HP Fire. With the Rindoberry and this spread, we also do take a +2 Leaf Storm from Superior from full. We KO with Icicle Spear. We are able to get spikes up and Toxic Spikes to hopefully pressure things like Suicune coming in, being able to poison things like the Mega Altaria. Being able to poison a few things. Toxic Spikes, because like I said, I really don't see Garbodor coming. But this thing is like if Superior knocks out something and gets to +2, I bring in Cloyster right there, and I just click Icicle Spear. This is my trap for Superior. I hope it does well. I hope it does what I want it to, because, oh my goodness. And then Icicle Spear pretty much hits everything else except for the Suicune. Suicune lets us set up hazards all over it, though, so I'm not too worried about that. And then HP Fire for the Escavalier. We do have Maximus this week as well. Maximus is kind of here also for Mega Altaria. If he brings a physical set with EQ, that's a little annoying, but I wanted to go with this instead. We originally had Will-O-Wisp, but I wanted to go for Toxic instead just because Uxie is a little bit of a problem if he does bring it. Being able to wear down things like that, being able to wear down the Mega Altaria, the Suicune as well, if he goes for a Call Mine expecting me to switch out, being able to land that Toxic is really, really huge because it does give him that extra timer turn where he has to think, am I going to switch out? Am I going to stay in and keep going for Call Mine? Do I click Rest? Things like that. Morning Sun for the recovery. Flare Blitz hits everything really hard. Ironhead hits the Mega Altaria, but Flare Blitz hits everything really hard. Infernape resists, obviously, but Infernape has base 71 defenses and 76 in HP. It still doesn't want a Flare Blitz. Intimidate is also cool for lowering the attack stat of the Altaria, the Infernape, the Gligar if need be, the Honchkrow if need be, and the Escavalier if need be. So, really cool Pokemon. 248 in HP, 132 in defense, and 124 in special defense, 4 in speed. With an impish nature, I believe we are outspeeding Uxie by 1 point with that extra 4 in the speed. And then the HP, the attack, and special defense kind of help it sit in front of Mega Altaria just a little bit better. Does allow us to take 2 Scalds from Unboosted Suicune, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And we are able to parry around that. So all in all, I really look forward to this matchup. I really think we've got an awesome chance against Nate's team, the New York Noibats. Like I said, go show him some love. Definitely do go drop a sub. The link to his channel will be in the description of this video. Make sure you guys leave a like if you have enjoyed. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the team in the comment section of this video down below. All that being said, I'm going to remind you guys to be great and do great. See you guys for tomorrow's battle. I'm going to let this outro bang. I'm going to talk to y'all soon. Later.